To love God, obviously we want to do that. We want to love God. But today we're here to discover how much God loved us. See, in the Old Testament, the Old Testament is always the question. When you try to understand the Old Testament, right, without ever discovering the New Testament, you will miss out on the benefit of the New Covenant. See, the Old Testament is the question. There was a question. Job had a question. He had questions about life. The New Testament is the answer. You know, when you have a textbook, math textbook, algebra textbook, you know, sometimes you scroll to the last page to find the answer, right? How many of you do that, right? That is the New Testament. You have to understand the Old Testament from the New Testament perspective, because Jesus is the answer. Can I hear an amen? Amen. Jesus is the answer. Jesus came to reveal to mankind what was lost. So today we want to talk to you guys about Jesus. And as I mentioned, if after the sermon, you are impressed by me or my message, I've failed you. Because I don't want you to be impressed by my message. I'm just a voice. I'm just an instrument in God's hand. I want you to be impressed by Jesus. And then after when we leave, that Jesus gets the glory out of it. Amen. Malcolm Gladwell, a great author, in his book Tipping Point, made an observation that he talked about an illustration about in 1965 about an incident that took place, a horrific incident. A woman named Kitty was brutally raped, and actually she was also murdered. And while she was getting raped, one of the shocking things that we see in that illustration, Malcolm Gladwell, the author, is writing, is that while this woman is brutally being killed and being raped, there were 35 eyewitnesses watching the account. 35 eyewitnesses. And one of the things about that is that none of them responded to that horrific event. None of them went to help that person. None of them actually even called the police when that happened. And one of the things that the author is trying to illustrate is that it became a very shocking thing in 1965. The police came to investigate the situation, and they couldn't understand how could so many people saw this horrific event and no one actually intervened. It was a shocking statement. So what happened is that after a while, two scientists actually penned this horrific act, and they called it bystander syndrome. They call it bystander syndrome. And one of the things that they were trying to say is that when you are in a group, in order to act or in order to interact in a situation is less than someone who's actually by himself. In other words, when you're by yourself and you're walking and you see a horrific act, you tend to act more in favor for that and call the police than when you are in a crowd. The reason why is that because when you're in a crowd, we all have come to the conclusion no one is doing anything. So there's no one to respond. There's no one act because no one is else doing it. But when you're by yourself, you tend to act more. So they call this bystander syndrome. The reason I brought this illustration is that, shockingly, this is the culture that we see in the church. We see a culture in the church that everybody is in a group and nobody's wanting to do anything. So we come to church, we do all things, we tithe, we sing, we do all the same thing that everybody else does as a group. But nobody wants to step out. Just like Peter in the board, one of the things, it's not my message, so I'm just going to talk to you guys fairly quickly, and then I'm going to get into my message. I'm not going to keep you guys too long here. I know you guys have some other stuff. But just like the disciple in the boat, when Jesus was walking in the water, everybody was comfortable in the boat, except Peter, who said, you know what, Lord, let me step out. Let me step out of the boat, because I'm seeing you doing something that I want to do. Here's the following. See, God wants us to step out in faith and do things bold for His kingdom. And in order for us to do that, we have to be courageous. We have to have the audacity to say, you know what, I'm not satisfied with this life. I'm not just satisfied just being an average. Can I tell you something? You're not an average. You're above average. In other words, the average is not even in the Bible. You're not a carbon. You're an original. God is not making a carbon copy. He's not making you a duplicate just like anybody else. You are a unique, authentic individual. a special make of God. The Bible says, you are a masterpiece. Everybody say, I'm a masterpiece. Look to your neighbor and say, you're a masterpiece. You are a masterpiece. God looks at you as a masterpiece. And God wants to accomplish something through you that He could never accomplish to anybody else. In order for us to do that, we have to be authentic and audacity to step out and do the things God calls us to do. One of the things that I did when the Lord actually asked me several months ago to go to Pakistan. I don't know if you guys know Pakistan. Pakistan is a dangerous city, a dangerous country actually. And the city that I was going to is Karachi. It's actually, that's where a lot of the kidnapping happens, a lot of things. And the Lord just talked to me, and while I was going to Haiti, doing a mission trip there, and I was in Haiti, the Lord spoke to me, you know, when you come back, I want you to go to Pakistan. I was like, Pakistan, okay. And but the thing is, I knew that God wanted me to go there. The thing is, I didn't have the money. It cost $8,000 to do the trip. Not only that, because we had to plan certain events and stuff like that. So I just knew that God told me to go. So I just, took a step of faith and to go. Money didn't come, but the Lord said, you know what, go. And just 2 weeks prior to my set plan, I was actually asking about God, money didn't come. How do I go? So the Lord spoke to me through the word, and He said, you know what, are you going to be obedient to my word? Are you going to follow me or not? I said, if that is the case, you got to bring the money. The next day, the money started coming in, like from left, center, right. Like I had the $8,000 over like in 2 weeks, and I was on the flight on the way to Pakistan. And while I was in Pakistan, as I was flying, the people of the Pakistani people who were in the plane, they were telling me, "Are you crazy? Why are you going to Pakistan? You're going to get kidnapped." So now I'm getting doubt, right? Like, they're going to kidnap me. Yeah, like I'm stupid. How am I doing that for? Why would I want to go to Pakistan? Everything was fine in Toronto. But then, I knew God was, asking me to go. So while I was going to Pakistan, I landed at the airport, and I'm like scared now. Because you feel it. The minute you land in Pakistan, you feel it. It's a dangerous country. So I'm landing there, and I'm like, by myself. No team, just by myself. I'm like, okay, what am I doing this for? So as soon as I got out, there was a whole bunch of guys waiting for me, right? Because they were the one who was organizing the whole event for me. So, but I don't even know these guys, right? They got me, and what they did, they took my passport. And I'm like, okay, this is it. They took my passport. They're gonna not take me in. They're gonna question me, and then so they talk their own language. So as soon as I got out, there was a whole bunch of crowd taking pictures. While they're taking pictures, I'm like, okay, you know what? They're gonna take this picture. They're gonna put it into the screen. They're gonna say, we got your guy from Canada. We want millions of dollars. And nobody has $1 million in my family, so I'm gonna get killed, beheaded. Anyhow. So now this whole crowd was there. They were actually just being nice to me. They were taking pictures so they could put it in the newspaper. And the crowd began to diminish. So now I'm being led by 5 guys into the parking lot. So I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen to me? So this guy tells me, go and get into this car. So I get into this car, and there's this guy with this big mustache, and he's just like, he turns to me and he just smiles at me. I'm like, okay, this is it. So this guy walks in, and he gets into the car, and he takes this 9M. No joke. 9M. And he goes like the ch-ch, right? I said, okay, this is it. I came all the way here to die for no reason, you know what I mean? But then he actually puts the gun back and he says, welcome to Pakistan. He was actually the police officer who was supposed to watch me throughout the whole event. So he carried this gun with him all the time, and we became friends. The reason why I'm saying that is that sometimes God calls us to step out with audacity, with faith. God will never ask you to do something that you're capable of. Because the reason why, if you're capable of it, then you will take the glory for it. See, everything about my life, I cannot take credit for. Because I should have been dead in 2001. I should have been dead way back then. But God took hold of my life, and He began to transform me. And as a result, I'm here today, and I'm going to share my testimony with you guys and a message, if I could get to it. God is good. God is for you. He's not against you. He is for you. He has a plan for you. He has a plan for you specifically assigned to you.